Welcome to Wild. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser. Today we are going to talk about, a good friend of mine, Renee Rodriguez, says something that I've said probably, no less than a dozen times over the episodes of Wild, and I say it probably at least once a week in my life, and that is, you cannot change behavior unless you change beliefs. And I was sent a book on Audible, which is called The Power of Beliefs by Sean. I believe that it's Achor or maybe Achor. Anyways, Achor, if you want to grab the book. It's called The Power of Beliefs. And it's such an interesting book around how much our beliefs impact us in general. And so as I was reading through the book, what he really does a great job of is explaining that our beliefs are predictions our brain makes about reality. I'm going to say that one more time. So our beliefs are predictions our brain is making about our reality. So the very dangerous part to that is that our brains don't actually spend very much time proving ourselves wrong. That is something, it's a learned skill to prove yourself wrong, right? To challenge your own thoughts, your own beliefs, which we are not super good at, right? If anything, we generally double down. We double down that we're right. We double down that it's true. We double down the story or whatever it is that we are telling ourselves is emphatic, that it's absolutely what is happening. So imagine if you believed realtors don't value you, or that your marriage is struggling, that you don't have enough time. That's a big one, right? I'm too busy. I never have enough time. That's a belief. You don't have a good enough team. You're not good with money. There are so many things that have a massive impact on you in general that you're not recognizing are simply your beliefs, that your brain is forming into a narrative that this is your reality. And when your brain begins filtering thousands of daily experiences, looking for evidence that proves what you just said. So maybe you don't think realtors value you and a realtor cancels lunch. Your brain says, proof that realtors aren't valuing you. Maybe you're believing that your marriage is struggling and all of a sudden you have a tiff first thing in the morning with your husband. There's your proof. I told you, right, that your marriage was struggling. Whatever it may be, your brain is seeking out proof, not to prove it wrong. That's work you would have to do yourself, but proving it right. And you are keeping track because that's where your reticular activator system, if you will, is focused. Your belief, if you will, becomes stronger because you found evidence. What a dangerous thing, right? You're falsely accusing yourself and or narratives to become true, and then you're supporting them with evidence, and it becomes familiar. And the problem is when you're familiar with looking at things like bad traffic, when you're familiar at looking at things like, I hear this all the time from loan officers, everybody's shopping. When you're familiar at the reason that I don't give up control to my team is that my team just they don't hurry, they're too busy, or I'm personally too busy and I had to work on that file. Whatever it may be, you are making that more familiar than a new belief, right? And so we are so programmed in this space that it really becomes our way of life. And so the 7 beliefs that I just want to go over with you real quick, I want to make these really relatable for you about what the beliefs are. 1, my actions matter. Very big deal. Do your actions matter? Well, I'll tell you what, victims wait, leaders make moves, right? Victims wait, leaders make moves. So your actions matter. When you're thinking to yourself, and this is number 2, I can improve. I can fix that. I can change that. I have control over that. Growth beats fixed identity all day long. And so that makes a very big difference. Another thing in the belief system, I belong. If you connect with something instead of, I just don't know if I can do sales. I'm just not sure if I'm a great loan officer. You are all of those things. But if your beliefs are looking for proof that you're not, you just screwed up on a file. Someone just shopped you. Somebody just canceled on you. I'm not good at leadership. It's why I do it all by myself. Well, if your belief is you're not a good leader, Sure enough, you won't be a good leader, right? You won't delegate, you won't communicate, you won't connect, you won't create culture. And so I belong, meaning I am meant to do this. I belong. I have the skills that I'm continuing to improve upon. My actions are going to matter, so I'm going to take actions towards all of these things. Number 4, people can be trusted. People can be trusted. Healthy relationships all begin and end with healthy assumptions. How often are we making an unhealthy assumption about a circumstance or a person that will create an unhealthy relationship? I want you to think opposite. People can be trusted. So healthy relationships come from healthy assumptions. Do a better job of a healthy relationship with your clients with healthy assumptions. They just want to make sure they're getting a great deal and a great interest rate. That's not personal to me. They're going to get those things with me. I just have to educate them. What a different assumption than these guys are going to shop. I'm for sure having to cut my commission. What a difference that makes, right? And how we approach our own thoughts, our own beliefs in order to change behavior. I'm no longer annoyed that they're asking me for a fee sheet. I'm excited to educate them and to go through everything with them versus making the unhealthy assumption that is all they want is the cheapest rate. They want nothing other than the cheapest rate. And if I can't provide it, which deep down inside I know someone for sure is going to go even lower than me, then I'm going to lose the deal. Unhealthy assumptions, healthy assumptions. I want you to really think about in all areas of life because it makes a major difference. 5, my work. The work that I do has meaning. The work that I do has meaning. Purpose creates endurance. No purpose, no endurance. I can't handle it. This is too hard. It's too stressful. I'm frustrated. I don't feel like it today. You're lacking purpose. If you don't have purpose, you don't have endurance. And this industry in general, anything 100% commission, sales especially, but leadership growth, higher end positions especially, it requires great endurance. And in order to have that, you have to have a bigger purpose, which then can create that. So number 5, your work has meaning. Number 6, your future can be better than your past. If you don't truly believe that, you won't be as resilient because resilience comes from hope and hope fuels resilience. We all need to be incredibly resilient. Today was hard. Tomorrow will be better. This morning was hard. I'll have a better afternoon. Hope creates resilience, meaning if you have something to look forward to and the narrative that you're writing is not, it's 9:30 in the morning and it's already a bad day. What a crazy false narrative, if you will, to write for yourself versus, hey, that was a rough one. We've got 5 other files that are going beautifully. We're going to fix this one, right? And be able to keep moving forward. Or, hey, I had 2 cancellations, but I booked 2 new appointments or I got 2 new leads. Such a different space when you can constantly think, my future can be better than my past. And here's the thing. On occasion, multiple things get in our way. So we'll have maybe a rough bump and we'll have that conversation with ourselves that, hey, my future, even a few minutes from now, is going to be better than my past. But 2 more bad things potentially happen. Resilience says, I'm going to lean into that hope and understand that, hey, this is all temporary. I listened to an Ed Milet podcast this morning and it said play hurt. And the entire podcast was about playing hurt. How Kobe Bryant blew his ACL, blew it. And he went out there in the game after the injury. And in order for them to win, he had to go stand at the free throw line and take the shots. And he literally stood at the free throw line and he made both shots. The greatest game of all time for Michael Jordan, I think it was like in 97. If you're a basketball guru, do not quote me as one. But I believe in the championship game when he had 104 fever, was absolutely miserable, and went on to have the game of his life. Playing hurt, if you will, is part of resilience. But if you don't have purpose, if you don't believe there's a meaning, if you don't believe that the hope is what fuels it, right? The hope of the win, right? I'm going to play through it. That makes a big, big, big difference. And so make sure that you yourself have all, right now we're on number 6, right? My future can be better than my past. Let me go to 7 real quick. Small actions compound. Really small actions compound. Tiny little wins create massive momentum. Massive momentum. One great conversation, one brand new lead, one contract that you walk into on a Monday morning, one event where you spent a lot of time with all sorts of great opportunities and then had some great follow-up that created great momentum for you. All of those things, tiny little wins. Maybe it's a really positive conversation that you have with your spouse. Maybe it's a team meeting where everybody left fired up. So small actions compound. Do not forget that in every direction, right? Small little actions. Tightening up your calendar seems so minor, compounds. Uh, Making live phone calls over text compounds. Dressing for work every single day compounds. Exercising compounds, right? All of these little things compound. They make a really big difference. The bulk of the book really focuses on the beliefs. And yet one was so tactical, and it's, I believe, chapter 14. And it essentially is about, it's a metaphor that I absolutely love in the book, and it's about de-escalation. And I think about this, I do it in a way that was different than this, but I love the breakdown of this. And so I can't help but want to share it with you. When you think about de escalating, it's literally 10 being the highest amount of stress, if you will, and one being the best outcome, the very best outcome. And so when hard circumstances get thrown at you, what our brain goes to is a 10 or a 10 plus, the worst case scenario. And what the de escalation really teaches you is hey, you can de escalate yourself by having the conversation of what's a 10? Well, let's just go through it in a scenario real quick. Let's say that you have a client who, right now, at a 10, they were pre approved and something goes wrong and they are no longer in approval status, but they're under contract. A 10 says the listing agent's going to hate me, the buyer's agent's going to hate me. The buyer spent all this money, is going to get no money back and going to hate me. I'm going to get terrible reviews. I'm a crappy loan officer. I did all of these things wrong, right? A 10 says I'm in trouble, essentially. If you were truly able to de escalate it, you might say, what's a 9? I kind of went to worst case scenario. What's a 9? A 9 would be everybody is really upset. Everybody is for sure really upset, but also understand how it happened, what happened, and they calm down after a day, let's say, right? There's a few solutions to be presented and everybody's willing to listen at least and have a presentation. Maybe an 8 is that not everybody, not only did everybody listen, but they actually were trying to implement a couple things that would solve the file and we were working together, right? Then you go to a 7, then you can go to a 6. Then, oh wait, we get to a 5 and it's like, we're actually on the bright side of things. And people are actually really good overall. What would it take to make them really good? What actions would it take for me for them to feel that way about a situation that felt like a 10 to me to make it a 5? What do I need to do? Do I need to over communicate? Do I need to apologize but solution more than I apologize? Do I need to take control and handle all communication across all parties? Do I need to be curious about all of the things this impacts, not just the loan portion of it, i.e., when somebody has to move, how much money is currently on the line, what's the timing for the seller, how do right, what's the impact to all parties so that I can address all fears, right? Because if you can do those things, now all of a sudden we might be at a 5 and then a 4 and then a 3 and at a 2 and at a 1, and we might never get to the 1. We might never get to the, after all these bumps and bruises on this loan, somebody is a raving fan of yours immediately. Both agents want to use you time and time again. It's the perfect situation. Maybe we don't get exactly to a 1, but we're also not at the 10 that our brain automatically goes to in every situation. And if you can give yourself a couple steps to, what if I could get this down to a 6 right now? How different does a 10 versus a 6 feel? It reminds me of medical treatment. When you're in the hospital at any point, and especially with little kids, they have the chart, that kind of says my pain is a 10, and here's the I'm crying, screaming, and then my pain all the way down the scale, all the way to a 1. No pain at all. I'm just happy. I'm so good. The goal is not in any medical situation to probably be at no pain whatsoever. I'm so good. But it's is it manageable? Is it manageable? And when our brain is at high escalation, 10, 10, 10, panic, freak out, possibly avoid, frustrate, blame, victim, whatever it may be, it's massive stress to not only you, but all parties around you. But when you can say, what are these few things that might take me to a 9, an 8, a 7, a 6? Could I get it even to neutral at a 5? And if you did that work, what a difference it would make in your day to day. And if you spent just 20 minutes thinking about the de-escalation before you tackled everything and you got your own self to a place where you're not at a 10, you will be better at problem solving, better at curiosity, better at solutions, better at calm in chaos, right? Better at clear direction, realizing next steps, taking complete control for all parties. And you will shine in a way that people say, you know what? Problems happen on loans, but they're different when Robin handles them. They're different because she understands how to de escalate. She understands how to keep all parties calm. She understands how to take total control. And that is a massive win in business, you guys, and in life in general. It's so attractive to people when they are around people that know and understand how to see the bright side, how to solution, how to stay in the zone, right? How to focus, how to bring clarity to situations, right? How to be accountable, all of those different things versus how to be panicked, how to shut down, how to be frustrated, how to vent, how to point fingers, how to catastrophize. Such a big difference. And so if you learned one thing from the power of beliefs, and I would highly recommend, very easy audible to listen to, going through that de-escalation process in your business every single day in everything that you're doing. I think about this when it comes to parenting. I think about it when it comes to marriage. I think about it when it comes to big financial decisions. 10 is I'm panicked, I'm scared. 1 is I feel great. And this is what it would need to make sure that 1 comes to fruition. But even if you landed right in the middle of the 5, what a gift you've done to not be at that 10, not in that fight or flight, not in that stressed out mode. And when people say, how do you do it? How do you, this business is so stressful. Well, it's really only as stressful as what we want to make it. And if you're good at de escalating, much like recovery, right, I promise you, you will make the difference in not only your business, but in other people's and everyone around you and that gets to interact with you. So take the time, work on your behavior that is led by beliefs and reverse that, right? Your beliefs lead to behavior. So work on that, work on de escalation. I promise you, you will see massive growth, not only in your business, with your team, and in life in general, and you will make a massive impact to other people. If this was helpful, I hope that you share it. We'll see you on the next Wild.